מלכות כתוב, עם ישראל חי, או דוד או על כל אבן הקודש, כתוב בדם ובדמעות, עם ישראל חי.
Said yes. She came on the transport that arrived last night onto the map. The man's supposed to get it.
Today is birth now. We're unable to go into original women's barracks, where I would like to be able to take you to.
Just over 2 years ago, the Englewood community was shaken to the core with the tragic and sudden passing of Asher Strobel. Asher Strobel was a young, warm and friendly young man loved by everyone here, who had a deep passion for Israel, Judaism and the Jewish people. So we implemented the Asher Strobel Leadership Program to teach and impart these sacred values.
The sessions were divided up into 5 segments. There was Jewish leadership, Israel advocacy, public speaking, CPR, Holocaust education, and this all culminated in a 5-day-long trip to Poland. Everyone on the trip was inspired by this amazing opportunity.
What made the program so unique and so successful was the amazing group of young adults we had. It was a diverse group, people in different schools, some in yeshiva, some not in yeshiva, but each individual contributed something unique and amazing and special to the program. It wouldn't have been the same without each person present.
We feel honoured and privileged to be part of the Asher Strobel Leadership Program, and we thank the whole community for supporting us in this important endeavour.
I applied to the Asher Strobel Leadership Program because I thought it would be a great experience to learn about Israel advocacy and the Holocaust and get to actually visit Poland and to see all the places where the terrors of the Holocaust occurred.
When I got the brochure, I looked at him and I realized, oh, this is a memory of my cousin. And while I was reading the brochure, I realized how great this program is because of all the opportunities that are being offered: public speaking courses, Israel advocacy, leadership courses, and a trip to Poland. And when I looked at the price, I realized there is no way I can do all of this in a year for this low of a price.
Why I did the Asher Leadership Program because I felt that I didn't have such a strong relationship with the Holocaust and everybody perished in it. So I felt that this was a great opportunity to get closer to this and learn more about it, because honestly I felt a little embarrassed that I'm a Jew, I go to the yeshiva and I don't know so much about the Holocaust. So this is a great way to learn about it.
I decided to apply to this program because I thought it was an incredible opportunity to travel to Poland, to learn about my Jewish heritage right before I go off to college in Israel, and to do so with the people I grew up with from the Englewood community was really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
One of the most important sessions we learned throughout the program was Jewish leadership and how we best use that to help society at large. And the most memorable session I had was when Rabbi Rosenblatt from Riverdale came to speak to us, and he spoke about how leadership is mostly about helping the underdog and people who are don't have such a big voice in the community, and how it's important to help them grow in the community and not just see yourself grow, and always helping the people that don't have a voice necessarily. And that was very inspiring for me to hear.
I found Rabbi Reichman's speech to us to be very informative. I learned things about Israel's history that I didn't know before, and it was eye-opening for me.
The one session that I found most important for me and that changed me most was the public speaking session, because it's something that I can use on a daily basis, and it helped me even speaking one-on-one to someone who's older than me or to someone that I should be having respect for, and that's something that I can use on a daily basis and for the rest of my life.
My most memorable part of the Poland trip was when on Motzei Shabbat we went to Amon Ger's house, who was a heartless Nazi leader, and we said Havdalah there to show the difference between darkness and light.
Like a outer body experience. I just felt like chills through my body, and everyone was just singing and got so into it, and it almost just felt like we were saying to Armin God, like you could beat this Jewish maid physically, but because she was Jewish, but you can't break our spirit. And I think that we were extremely evident by that, by our singing, and we were just like so lively and so much spirit and so much passion. It was just like insane. It was amazing.
One of the most memorable experiences for me was in Treblinka. We were walking around the camp and all the memorial stones that were placed around it, and it was freezing, and I was cold and wet, and just looking around everything, it was so barren and so empty, and you saw all these stones around you that had names of the towns that the people who came there were from, and I didn't recognize like any of the names of the towns, and it just stuck with me how these places are just gone forever and all these communities completely wiped out, and that really hit me.
Another highlight that stood out to me when I was in Poland was that on Shabbos we went through Krakow, and we went to all the different shuls that used to be filled before the war and before the Holocaust. And we went and we saw how beautiful they were and how big they were, and now they're empty and they don't even have a minyan on a daily basis. And the shul that we went to on Shabbos, they only had a minyan because of all the tourists that were going to Poland to see all the camps and all the camps from the Holocaust.
Two moments that really stand out for me. My grandmother is a survivor of Birkenau, and when we went to Birkenau, it was very enlightening what she went through and how hard it was, because until I actually went and visited the camp with 3 feet of snow, shivering to my bones, even though I was wearing 3 layers, I didn't realize how terrible it was. And it really made me appreciate what my grandmother did and how strong my grandmother is, who I never realized how strong this small 5-foot blonde woman is until I was at the camp and realized, wow, I definitely couldn't do this.
Saturday night after Havdalah, we went to the mass grave, and that was really hard for me, and it made everything really personal. We wrote letters to our families standing by the grave, and it was just, I never had family who was involved in the Holocaust, so I never really made that connection. And I think it just put everything into perspective in my life about how lucky I am that I'm able to have such close relationships with my family, and how I'm able to be with my family, and how we read a letter about this kid who was separated from his mom, and the mom sewed a letter into his shirt, and he never knew his mom's name because the letter was signed Mom. And so just that really spoke to me and made me realize how lucky I am to have such amazing relationships with my parents and to be so close with them. And
after the Poland trip, I have a stronger Jewish identity and also a greater appreciation for the world we live in and the life that we have.
After coming back from Poland, I now realize that we must all strive to reach our full potential and to become the Jewish leader that is hidden within each and every one of us.
I now appreciate my Judaism, and I don't take it for granted, because I learned that in the past people have fought so hard to keep their Judaism, and in very difficult conditions. And it's something that I have here it's very easy for me to keep, and I realize how lucky I am having never experienced any anti-Semitism here in America.
after the trip, I really learned not to take advantage of anything, or at least I'm trying to not take advantage of anything. And I realized how lucky I am to live in a world where I'm able to display my religion and have no one tell me that I'm not allowed to, and that I'm able to go to a Jewish school and learn Torah, and how amazing it is that I'm able to live in such a vibrant community.
I always knew that it was important to remember what happened during the Holocaust. That was what was stressed to me during school programs and Holocaust commemorations. But after taking part in the Strobel leadership program and going to Poland, seeing it for myself, I realized it's not just about remembering, rather it's about taking action and making sure that it never happens again.
I think I've gotten more mature after the Poland trip. I think I take offense to people who make like Jew jokes or Holocaust jokes. I find them really wrong. And
I feel without a doubt that everyone should have the same opportunity because regardless of your background, you're going to take away something from this trip. I know for me, it's inspired me to want to become more religious and want to become a more integral part of this community.
I would definitely encourage anyone my age to go on a trip like this one because I feel that it's important for every Jew to see what took place during the Shoah.
Before our trip to Poland with Sam and Emma and the whole Asher Strobel youth program, I was a little concerned about the subject matter and all the things that we were going to see in Poland. I was concerned about finding the right, that the right leader would be able to express to us how the Holocaust impacts us today. Sam was able to find someone that made a tremendous impact on the children from the first day. Our tour guide taught the children, and me as well, that it wasn't about what happens in the past, but what we were going to do with it in the future.
I would just like to say thank you to all of the people who allowed me to experience this unbelievable opportunity, which really left me changed forever, and just also to say thank you for providing me with a warm and loving Jewish community to grow up in for the past 17 years. Never once have I felt embarrassed of my Judaism, and I've been surrounded by amazing role models, so really just thank you for that.
I want to thank everyone in the East Hill community and the Englewood community for making this program happen and, doing everything that they could because it really was a completely life-changing experience for all of us. And everyone has, been completely impacted by the trip, and it's just we've formed new bonds and new relationships with people in our own community that we never had the opportunity to before. I want to thank Sam and Emma for everything that they did, and to the Strobel family and to everyone. It was just such an amazing experience, and I hope that it'll be able to continue on in future years.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to take part in this unbelievable experience. And coming back from Poland, everyone's been so warm and generous with their time to want to teach me and to want to integrate me more. So thank you to everyone.
I just want to say thank you for supporting this program and, giving us the opportunity to go on it and, building a shul in which we can have things like this, because this was the first thing similar to this that was ever done in Englewood, and it took a lot of work, and just amazing the community we have that we can build as powerful and strong as a program like this.
Diane and I want to express our deep appreciation to Rabbi Reichman, Chana, and Sam and Emma Taylor, as well as our president, Gabriel Busbib, for the creation of this most unique and memorable program in Asher's memory.
Our dear friend Asher Strobel was an exceptional human being. He was respectful, he was kind, he was wise beyond his years, and he was someone who brought a tremendous amount of dignity to his family, to his nation, and to all of us in our community. His loss was a shock, it was painful, and we still feel it. Nothing can take away that pain. As Jews, our response to pain is tshuva. Our response to difficulty is action. And so I feel gratified on behalf of our community that the community came together. In Asher's memory, Torah has been learnt. Our youth program has been named. And the crowning jewel of all these efforts, there is now the Asher Strobel Leadership Training Program, where the teens of our community go to Poland, see the sights of what unspeakable horrors have happened to our nation, and learn a lesson there, not a lesson of sadness or depression, but learn a lesson of eternity, of commitment, of faith, of love for the Jewish people. Jewish leadership is a function of love for the Jewish nation. And this program is training Jewish leaders because it is inspiring young men and women to have love for the Jewish nation.
בלקוט כתוב, עם ישראל חי